Hello student, in last lecture we learned about what is organon of medicine, and in which we learn the word meaning of organon of medicine. It is a set of principles for use in scientific or philosophical investigation, and an instrument for acquiring knowledge or an instrument of thought. And we also learn the definition of organon of medicine and how this terminology organon derived from the Greek word and how it is applied by the logical work of by Aristotle, and also it is also applied for the by the Lord Bacon for his scientific or his logical collection. Hahnemann was very much influenced by these two words used by Aristotle for his logical explanation, and also the treatise of logic by Lord Francis Bacon, that is, which was published as a Novum Organum. And by influencing both of these terms, Hahnemann used the word organon of medicine for his new exposition to the world as a law of similia, isn't it? And there is a birth of organon of medicine. This book is published as a first edition of organon of medicine. Then let us revise what we learned in previous lecture, that is a definition of organon of medicine. It is very important. The organon of medicine is the homeopathic philosophy, the guiding principle of homeopathy enunciated by the great master Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, or it is a compilation of doctrine principle of homeopathic medicine as invented by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. These are various definitions are prepared. This organon of medicine is also known with various terminology like organon by Hahnemann, Hahnemann's organon, or organon of medicine, or homeopathy organon, so on. But the important part is this is the homeopathy Bible. Dr. T.L. Bradford called as it is the Bible of homeopathy. Then it is very important to learn what is homeopathy, and in previous lecture we learn it in detail how homeopathy was discovered by Dr. Hahnemann, and therefore he called as a father of homeopathy. And then we reach to the first edition of organon of medicine, isn't it? Yes, let us start with the first edition of organon of medicine. This organon of medicine, the first edition was published in 1810 when Hahnemann was residing at Torgau. The title is Organon der rationalen Heilkunde, that is organon of the rational art of healing. It contained 271 aphorisms, and on the title page he included the very 4 line of Gellér's poem, that is the truth we mortal need, us blessed to make and keep, all wise slightly covered over but did not bury deep. This explanation is Hahnemann tried to understand you that as the law of similar was known previously, and in previous him various other physicians are also very well acquainted with the law of similia, yet none of these thought about as this law of similia would be a very successful law for the law of therapeutics. Only Dr. Hahnemann thought accordingly, and he not only discovered the law of similars, while he established homeopathy is a complete and scientific method of therapeutic. And whenever this first edition of the Organon was published, the whole world know about this the system of homeopathy. Human mind is enslaved in prejudice and orthodoxy, and it is very difficult to accept anything whenever it is introduced, isn't it? And it is therefore during those days, specifically in Europe, it is very difficult to introduce new ideas and advanced view in human mind. What happened? Let us by this first edition of Organon, whole world know that, or through this publication, the complete systematization of the principle and practice of homeopathic art of healing was effected with this publication. The Organon refers to the book that Hahnemann wrote as the primary text on the homeopathic art of science. This is the book that gave rise to the principle of homeopathy, and that's why it is very important. Let us see the second edition. Second edition was published in 1819. The second edition of the Organon was published when Hahnemann was living in Leipzig in Germany. The title of the Organon get changed the title as Organon der Heilkunst, means Organon of the healing art. Yes, this term rationale was removed, isn't it? Organon der Heilkunst means it is a Organon of the healing art. It was published as an augmented edition. Augmented means it is more spread. It is advanced, you can say. The number of aphorisms are more than the previous aphorism. And the most important change is at the title page. The stanza of Gellert poem was replaced by two words, that is a ode sapere. And this ode sapere originated from Latin word adere. Adere means to dare, and sapere means to be wise. Therefore, the meaning of this ode sapere is dare to be wise. Why Hahnemann changed or replaced this Gellert's poem by these two words? Because when the first edition of Organon was published, a storm of criticism and ridicule started in Germany as well as in Europe. He was attacked by the whole medical fraternity, and the anti-homeopathic movement started in Europe. He was attacked in the medical journals of the day. Books and pamphlets were published against him and his strange doctrine. He was also called as charlatan, quack, and ignoramus. He can be said without fear of contradiction that no other medical book anywhere at any time in any language drew so prompt, so vigorous, so large and varied denunciation, criticism, and condemnation. And the very strange thing is, a monthly journal, Anti-Organon, was published in July 1810. Dr. Simon started another journal, Anti-Homeopathic Archive. The books are published by Professor A. F. Hacker, Kranflander, George, Bishop, and many others. Many others physicians were against him. Many of his disciples were attacked by the physician prevailing during his days, and were prosecuted by the court for dispensing their own medicine. isn't it? That means there is a very torturous behavior against this homeopathic physician. Still, in spite of this great opposition, Hahnemann was the last person to surrender. He was never he never surrendered to that physician during his days who developed the anti-homeopathic movement against him, and he wanted to show them that he was not afraid of it. Hahnemann was very much bold, and Hahnemann wanted us, the physician, to be bold, to be courageous. Since every lover of truth, everyone willing to know more, to be wise, as every physician is ought to be, has to undergo all types of hardship. And he know very well the history of medicine also, and in history of the European country, Socrates, Galileo, this Galen, Paracelsus, Harvey, Jenner, so many physicians during those days who dared to put forth some new principle, they all get tortured by the people during those days. And therefore Hahnemann knew the dangers of being a wise man. He knew the risk of introducing new idea which was against the prevailing system of medicine, that is a Galenic system, isn't it? Still, he introduced this homeopathy with very courage and dare, and therefore he put forth the Gilbert's poem on the first on his first edition of Organon of Medicine. While in spite of this great opposition by medical fraternity during his days, he published his second edition in 1890, and therefore he was very much also impressed by these two words, that is a dare, that is audace sapere, because he was very well acquainted this terminology audace sapere, because he go through this word whenever he was in his student life, whenever he was at the Prince School at Mission, at the gate of his library. These two words, this audace sapere, this term engraved on the you can say on the entrance gate, and therefore Hahnemann was very well acquainted with this terminology audace sapere since his school days, and therefore he selected these two words because he was he desired to be show the word, that is he was there also, and if somebody want to be wise, the daring or courage is definitely show against this prevailing system, and therefore he transferred this Gellert poem into the audace sapere. The contents of the second edition, on the second page of this second edition, it contains a half-length engraving of Hahnemann drawn by Jung and engraved by Stolzel, in which he has been shown to be sitting with a pen in hand. The introduction of this contained a great criticism of allopathy, as it is augmented, that is increased aphorism number. It had 315 aphorisms. In 1824 it was translated by French, translated into French by Ernest George de Bruno, and was named Organon of the Healing Art. Let us try to understand the third edition. This third edition was published in 1824. The third edition of the Organon was published when Hahnemann was resident at Cothen in Germany. It was published by Arnold of Dresden. It was published as an improved edition and the title is same in German. It is published as a Organon der Heilkunst, that is a Organon of the Healing Art. No significant changes in the third edition and it contained 317 aphorisms. Still numerical was wrong and therefore these are originally 350 aphorisms. This third edition never translated in English, while the French and Italian translations are there. Therefore translation is only in the French and Italian language, but the English translation is not appear. Let us start a very important edition, that is a fourth edition. The fourth edition was published in 1829. The fourth edition of the Organon was published when Hahnemann was living in Cothen, published by Arnold of Dresden. It was published as an augmented and improved edition. Yes, that means the number of aphorisms are also more and improved means very drastic changes are appeared in this fourth edition and some theory of chronic diseases also add and various aphorisms are removed and rewrite and therefore it is called the improved edition. The title in German, it is the same title is there, Organon der Heilkunst, means Organon of the Healing Art. It contained 292 aphorisms and the introduction to Organon proper was introduced in this edition for the first time. Then the Hahnemann's theory of miasm, you know miasm theory, that is a theory of chronic diseases, and for this chronic diseases Hahnemann wrote this very remarkable book. You know, in previous lecture whenever we learn the theory of chronic disease, and this book appeared in 1829 and therefore in the fourth edition of Organon of Medicine, which was published in 1829, Hahnemann included this theory of chronic disease in this aphorism for the first time. Hahnemann stated that the fundamental cause of all chronic diseases are chronic miasm and chronic diseases are caused by dynamic infection of the chronic miasm. Likewise, the vital force theory makes its first significant appearance in this edition. The translation was the English translation by Charles H. Devrient was published in Dublin in 1833, being the first ever English translation of Organon. That means in spite of the first edition which was translated by Wesselhoff, this fourth edition was translated at the first time in English. Then the fifth edition of Organon. It is also very important as it is called the various homeopaths in the world consider the fifth edition of the Organon is a complete and very reliable one, isn't it? Which was published in 1833 and it is the edition which was published, the last edition which was published during the days of Dr. Hahnemann. The fifth edition of Organon was published when Hahnemann was living in Cothen. Title is same as before, that is in German it is Organon der Heilkunst, means Organon of the Healing Art. It contained 294 aphorisms and 159 footnotes. The doctrine of vital force and drug dynamizations were introduced for the first time in this edition. Preface. 8 pages. Preface of the 8 pages containing 7 paragraphs and 3 footnotes. It was dated Cochin 28 March 1833. Then introduction. The introduction was of the 76 pages, which containing 99 paragraphs. Yes, this introduction contained 99 paragraphs and 47 footnotes. It was divided into 12 chapters. And aphorisms were serially numbered and footnotes were separately numbered as 1 to 3 etc. For each page. The evidence in earlier practice, logic and method of the whole homeopathic system was distinctly outlined in 5th edition. The translation of the 5th edition by various translator. The first translation is done by, the English translation were done by R.E. Dudgeon, and it is very beautiful translation of this organon, first in 1849 and again in 1893. The second translation by C. Wesselhoff in 1876. Again Dr. Herring also translated this 5th edition whenever he was in North American Academy of Homeopathy in 1939 and B. Finke in 1889. That means this various other physician also translated this 5th edition. This 5th edition of Organon departed significantly in style and content from the 4 previous editions by making numerous references to metaphysical notions like the vital force, miasm and potency energy. That means the real homeopathic prescription or the advice for the homeopathicity with the disease. Hahnemann introduced the theory of vital force as well as the dynamic infection of this miasm, as well as the dynamization of the drug substance, that is the potentization. These all vital or the metaphysical notions or ideas are introduced very completely in 5th edition. Then the last edition, 6th edition, which is not published during days of Dr. Hahnemann, which was published 78 years after death of Dr. Hahnemann, that is in 1921. The 6th edition of Organon was published after 78 years of the death of Dr. Hahnemann. It contained 291 aphorisms and was named Organon der Medizin. The change is there. Previously Organon der Heilkunst, while here the name is Organon der Medizin. It was later translated into the English language by William Bory and given title Organon of Medicine. This Organon of Medicine, which is a textbook which has a preface, the 4 paragraphs, and date is end of February 1842. The introduction of the 30 pages, and the introduction was divided into 12 chapters separated from each other by the closing line. It contained several new additions and alterations, including the change of vital force to vital principle. Yes, the term vital force, which was used in 5th edition of Organon of Medicine, in 6th it changed as a vital principle. The introduction of a new scale of preparation of drug, that is 50 millisiemal scale of potentization, and changes in the preparation and administration and repetition of drugs. The n number of changes are occurred in 6th edition of Organon of Medicine, specifically the 50 millisiemal scale of potentization was introduced in 6th edition. The book begins with a preface by the author on the subject with table of contents and a vast introduction to the subject, the philosophy and the presentation of how homeopathy become a method of practice in the medical profession. The 6th edition of the Organon was not a full edition in the usual sense, but merely a copy of 5th edition of Organon, which Hahnemann had annotated in February 1842 with numerous revisions before his death in 1843 in Paris. The evidence for this 6th edition, which was completed in a letter from Paris dated the 1st June 1841, he stated, "I am preparing the 6th edition of the Organon, to which I can only devote a few hours on Thursday and Sunday." Whenever he sent a letter to the publisher, which was dated as the 1st June 1841, in which he quoted that he was preparing for the 6th edition of Organon and be ready for the publication of the 6th edition, and he devoted the Thursday and Sunday for the preparation of the 6th edition. However, in a letter to his publisher in Düsseldorf dated 20th February 1842, he wrote, "I have now, after 18 months of work, finished my 6th edition of Organon, the most nearly perfect of all." Yes, this letter to the publisher was available here, and which indicate that the work on the 6th edition was almost finished and it is the most nearly perfect of all. But what happened? Unfortunately, there is a death of Dr. Hahnemann on 2nd July 1842. It had not published during his days, isn't it? And it has to wait for 78 years for its publication. In 1929, provided the first text critical edition of Hahnemann's manuscript for the 6th edition of his Organon of Medicine. The Organon contains all the principles and instruction the homeopathic physician need to treat his patient homeopathically, which is why it has sometimes been considered the Bible of homeopathy. To get an idea of the uniqueness and irreplaceable value of this manuscript, let us briefly look back at its history. That is why it is so much delay, why it is published after 78 years after, why this 78 years required for its publication or for its exposition. The first edition of the Organon was published by Hahnemann in 1810, entitled Organon of the Rational Healing Art, also translated as Organon of a Rational Approach to the Practice of Medicine. It went through 5 editions. Yes, you know, after first edition there was second, third, fourth, fifth editions and also 6th edition. The continuous changes, the theme and the addition of the sub principle, and the replacement of the ideas and some everything occurred, and every time it become very scientific one and very perfect one, each of them revised by author. The last edition to appear in Hahnemann's lifetime was the fifth publication. During his lifetime, only the fifth editions of the Organon was published in 1833 in Dresden and Leipzig. However, in 1842, 1 year before he died in Paris, Hahnemann completed the manuscript of the sixth edition. He went through an interlude copy of the fifth edition paragraph by paragraph, making changes, erasures, annotations and additions in his characteristic handwriting. Due to a combination of adverse circumstances, this manuscript remained unpublished for 79 years until Richard Hell and William Borick edited and published German and English editions respectively. This, however, was at a time when homeopathy was entering into a rapid decline, especially in the United States of America. For almost its entire history, American homeopathy has thus been based on the fifth edition of Organon of Medicine, which was published in 1833. This also applies to the school of James Taylor Kent, who had died in 1916. William Borick in San Francisco definitely had the original manuscript of the sixth edition at his disposal for his translation into English, whilst Richard Hale in Stuttgart had to use mainly a handwritten copy of Hahnemann's manuscript for his German edition. And therefore, what happened? Richard Hale had actually purchased the original manuscript in Zurich and in 1920, but he evidently only went through it for a few days before sending it to Borick. All subsequent German editions of the Organon were based on the edition by Hell, which was based on a copy of the original. As a result, no authentic German edition existed until 1992. The first German edition, which was published by Richard Hale, the German edition was written by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann when he was in Paris in the last date, you can say the February 1842. This edited by Richard Hale. The language of the book was German, published from Leipzig and published in 1921. This German edition was published in 1921 and the title as Organon der Heilkunst. The second German edition was published by K. Hochstetter, which is also in German and published from Kiel. The published in 1978 and the title is the same, that is Organon der Heilkunst. These are the two German editions. While what happened with this, why this sixth edition of Organon was which was published in 1921 by Richard Hale, which is not considered as a authentic translation, because sixth edition of Organon by Richard Hale, titled Organon der Heilkunst von Samuel Hahnemann in small letters, and Richard Hale MD was in bigger letters, and below it the name of the publisher. The word Ode sapere was wrongly removed from the cover page and put on the top of the publisher's contents. In Hale's book, footnote were 224. Yes, in the sixth edition, the original the footnotes are more in the Richard Hell book, were serially numbered and in violation to Hanneman's style were printed at the end of the book. Yes, Hanneman's style is he put the footnote and the same page, isn't it? While in the Richard Hell book he printed at the end of the book, that is from page 156 to 220. The editor's note was serialized with that of Hanneman. It is not easy to differentiate between footnotes of Hanneman and Hell. The publisher have disfigured and distorted Hanneman's book, and therefore it is not considered the authentic translation or authentic publication. The translation, English translation, it is translated by William Borick in English in 1921, published by William Borick, titled Organon of Medicine. And what is the error? The error of William Borick, although 85% of the contents of the book was taken from the R.E. Dudgeon's translation. You know the 5th edition of Organon of Medicine, which was translated by R.E. Dudgeon from German to English. The Borick also take as it is. Therefore, the 80% similarity with the R.E. Dudgeon's translation, but his name was not mentioned as a co-translator, and therefore it is the very great mistake by Borick. Dr. Borick copied Dudgeon's every error and mistakes in translating. Editing, for example, aphorism number 170 footnote, not only wrong fact was copied, even Dudgeon's mistake in the name of Princess Porphyrogenita as Porphyrognita was copied by Dr. Borick. That is, whatever is the spelling mistake is there, which is mentioned in the footnote of aphorism number 117, the same mistake which was done by Dudgeon, the same copied by Borick, and therefore it is a great error. The second English translation is by Dr. J. Kunjli. The title was The Organon of Medicine, and which was published from London, published in 1983. It is just all of the information regarding the 6th edition of Organon. At conclusion, you understand that the 6th edition of the Organon was merely a copy of the 5th edition of Organon, which Hanneman had annotated in February 1842 with numerous revisions before his death in 1843 in Paris, but not very well accepted as it was the posthumous edition and also carries a lot of controversies along with it. In a letter from Paris, Dr. Samuel Hanneman says that I am preparing the 6th edition of the Organon, to which I can only devote a few hours of Thursday and Sunday. This article given a complete picture about all editions and help the learner to learn editions in simple way. The Organon developed slowly out of Hanneman's research and experimentation over a period of time. It underwent as many as 6 editions. The 6th edition incorporates the latest finding of Dr. Hanneman during his dying years and deemed to be the most perfect of all. Many newer concepts like replacement of the vital force by vital principle the 15th millisimal potency, sale of potency and permissibility of external applications were introduced for the first time, which were unheard of in the other editions. Some changes are there. The work is a result of untiring efforts of the master to improve and update his work, and is of historical importance as far as the medical philosophy is concerned. And therefore the Organon of Medicine is considered as it is the high water mark of medical philosophy, and the practical interpretation of which produces a veritable mountain of light and guides the physician by means of the law of cure to a new world in therapeutics. It is very important that it is a homework for you. Make the difference between 5th and 6th edition. For example, 5th edition was published in 1833 and it includes the doctrine of vital force and drug dynamization. Similarly, you have to defer this 6th edition, which was published in after death of Dr. Hahnemann, which was published in 1921. You have to work for the difference between 5th and 6th edition. Let us learn the ground plan of Organon of Medicine. How this book is planned, isn't it? The Organon of Medicine it is a textbook for homeopaths, considered as a Bible of homeopathy. And this book is very uniquely constructed and with a very determinate plan, isn't it? This Organon of Medicine, there is first part is preface, the author's preface and translator preface. Then there is an introduction given by Dr. Hahnemann, and then the text proper, that is called the Organon proper. The whole aphorisms are included. This text proper is again divided into theoretical or doctrinal part, and another is a practical or applied part, applied Organon, you can say. This theoretical part Hahnemann explaining aphorism number 1 to 70, while the practical or applied part of Organon is from aphorism number 71 to 291. Yes, have you got this explanation regarding the ground plan of Organon? Okay. Let us try to understand the contents of Organon. It is very important question. The book begins with a preface, table of contents and introduction. Then Organon of Medicine, that is a text proper, consists of 291 aphorisms in the 6th edition, whereas the 5th edition contained 294 aphorisms, isn't it? Then the book was already you know that the book was divided into, or the textbook is divided into the doctrinal part from aphorism number 1 to 71, while the practical part is from aphorism number 71 to 291. The doctrinal part deals with the following concept. First, aphorism number 1 to 4 deals with physician's mission. Then the second work, duties and responsibility. Also the concept of the cure is discussed here. Yes, you know, the first aphorism is related to the mission of the physician, in which there is a explanation regarding the restoration and restoration of the health. Therefore, the concept of health and disease he discussed here. What do you mean by sick according to homeopathy, as well as the concept of cure, which is the mission of the physician, is explaining aphorism number 1. While in aphorism number 2, which is deal with the highest idol of cure, Yes, the whatever is the mission of physician and how, what do you mean by cure, which is explained in aphorism number 2, isn't it? Then the aphorism number 3, for to attain the highest ideal of cure, what would be the qualities of the physician, which Hahnemann discuss in aphorism number 3. And the 4th aphorism is related to the preserver of health. That means this whole 1 to 4 aphorisms are related to the physician's mission, work, duties and responsibility. This 4th aphorism, the preserver of health, how the physician would be a preserver of health. Then aphorism number 5 to 18 deals with the knowledge of disease and vital force. Specifically, aphorism number 5, in which Hahnemann introduced the causes of disease, in which he explained the fundamental cause, then that is a basic cause is a chronic miasm, then exciting cause and maintaining cause, and how to find out these exciting and maintaining cause. That is the causes of disease explained in aphorism number 5. Then you know the aphorism number 6 is related to the unprejudiced observer, isn't it? In aphorism number 7, it is in which Hahnemann gives the totality of symptom. And what do you mean by symptom? Which is nothing but the outward reflection of the internal derangement of the vital force. That it is outward manifestation of the internal derangement of the vital force. And the same aphorism, in a footnote, he tried to understand the difference between the disease, actual disease by exciting cause, the exciting cause that is responsible for acute disease, and also indisposition. And in footnote he explained various examples for indisposition. In aphorism number 8, similarly, the removal of the symptom is nothing but the cure, and if there is no symptoms are appear, it means the cause of the disease is also removed, the disease is also removed, explaining aphorism number 8. While aphorism number 9 is very important, important aphorism, because in which Hahnemann first time introduced the vital force and role of vital force in health. Similarly, in aphorism number 10, he introduced the departure of the vital force, means death, while in aphorism number 11 he explained the dynamic derangement of the vital force. And from aphorism number 13 he explained the materialism in medicine, that is a material concept of disease. And then from aphorism number 12 to, you can say, 18, he totally explained the knowledge of disease, the dynamic derangement of the disease, the outward manifestation of the derangement of the vital force in form of symptom, and how to remove this symptom by dynamic medicine. Then aphorism number 19 to 27 deals with the knowledge of medicine. In this he also introduced, in aphorism number 23, he also introduced the antipathic mode of treatment, which is also called the anesthesiopathy. Then from aphorism number 28 to 69 deals with the knowledge of how to choose and administer a remedy. What are the different methods of this, that is allopathic, antipathic and homeopathic, and what happened when two dynamic diseases meet in one organism and one body, etc. You know, aphorism number 28 and 29, Hahnemann explained the modus operandi of homeopathic cure, while in aphorism number 30 he introduced susceptibility and how this medicine, or why this medicine act unconditionally, and it is also explained in aphorism number 28 and 29, the conditional force and unconditional force. Similarly, the susceptibility of the human being is responsible for disease as well as for cure. Similarly, from aphorism number 36, he explained what happened when two dissimilar diseases meet in one organism, and after that from aphorism number 40 he explained the natural cure by the similar diseases. What happened when two similar diseases meet in one organism? While in aphorism number 56 he explained the antipathic allopathic mode of treatment and the why this allopathic and antipathic mode of treatment not cure the disease rapidly, permanently and gently and permanently. In this way, and in aphorism number 60 onward he explained what is the primary and secondary action with various example. Then this 70 aphorism is a totally the gist of or the summary of all this aphorism. That means the section 1 to 70 deals with Hahnemann's attitude towards disease, drug action and the selection and administration of remedies. The first part basically probes into three questions: what is curable in medicine, what is curative in medicine, and how to apply the knowledge of medicine to be knowledge of disease. Then the practical part or the applied part of homeopathy, applied part of the organon. In the practical part of the book deals with the following concept. From aphorism number 72 to 104, how the physician ascertain what is necessary to be known in order to cure the disease. Here Dr. Hahnemann gives the justification for dividing diseases into acute and chronic disease and outline the method of case taking for an individualistic outlook. Then in second point is aphorism number 5 to 145. It is related to drug proving and how the physician can gain the knowledge of pathogenetic power of medicine. Here he gives the rules for proving the medicine upon the healthy human being. And from aphorism number 146 and to 285, it is a employment of medicine. What is the most suitable method of employing this artificial agent, that is for the cure of the natural disease? In this way, the practical part of the organon of medicine explained by Dr. Hahnemann, or the application. Then from aphorism number 264 to 285, in this aphorism homeopathic pharmacy and theory of drug dynamization is discussed. Here Dr. Hahnemann gives the rule for finding the similarity between the drugs and disease, the choice and the repetition of the dose, the preparation of drug and diet and regimen to be followed. Then in aphorism number 280 to 291, here Dr. Hahnemann discussed the utility of the therapeutic agent other than drug in the different auxiliary mode of treatment or ancillary mode of treatment. In aphorism number 286 and 287, he explained the magnetism and electricity. In aphorism number 288 and 289, he explained mesmerism. In aphorism number 290, he explained massage, and in last aphorism he explained bath. It is an auxiliary mode of treatment, that is you can treat or cure your patient rather than drug or medicine. It is about the contents of organon of medicine. Thus, we see that Hahnemann wanted to cover the whole field of medicine, all its variances and methods of application. The logical sequence of the aphorism is unmistakable, and the ladder-like fashion in which the reader is taken from one logical answer to another in the successive aphorism is remarkable. The aphoristic style of the organon limits the scope for detailed discussion of many points, but it has been made up by the judicious use of the footnotes in relation to the various aphorisms. That means whatever is the explanation he need to explain, he not explain it in the aphorism, while he take the help of footnote, and the footnotes in footnote he give the explanation of various other points. Take a review. A review of classical and contemporary textbooks showed that although the term homeopathy is widely known and used, it remained ambiguous and vague. In an attempt towards clarification, we present a review of Hahnemann's definition of the term and conclude that it refers to the outcome of interaction between two different vital affections, which, however, have very similar effect on living organism, that is the disease force and the natural disease, as well as the artificial disease force, that is a medicine. We found that Hahnemann used example to demonstrate the homeopathic phenomena and postulated that homeopathy could exist without experimental proving in healthy individual, infinitesimal doses, dynamization and single medicine, all of which are fundamental elements in his methodology. That means the basic part of the science of homeopathy is a drug proving as well as all these cardinal principles, isn't it? Last part, it is a beneficial effect of the homeopathy. We also discuss the benefits of using one strict conceptual definition of homeopathy. This can contribute to recognition of the homeopathic phenomena in nature and in medical practice. Homeopathy sheds not a drop of blood, administers no emetics, no purgatives, no laxative or diaphoretics, drives off no external affection by external means, prescribes no warm bath or no medicated clysters, applies no Spanish flies or mustard plasters, no cetons, no issues, excites no tylism, burns not with moxa or a red hot iron to the very bone, and so forth, but gives with its own hand its own preparations of simple uncompounded medicine, that is a single simple remedy at a time, which it is accurately acquainted with, never subdue pains by opium, etc. It is the efficacy of homeopathy without any torturing your patient, without any troublesome treatment, without shedding not a drop of blood. Homeopathy cure the patient very effectively. Yes, thank you everyone.